Soundstripe.
Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone.
Soundstripe.
Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and vomit nose. Anything is possible. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Expo Sports Show. I'm your host, Ricky G. Stanley. And the sports world has been doing a miraculous whirlwind all week, ever since the last 2 weeks. You got LeBron suspension, the CowBoys losing on Thanksgiving, which is always good. It's just been lovely. Let's start off with LeBron suspension. LeBron, of course, I'm a Lakers fan, but I thought it was a little comical. Like I said, I saw it coming because just the fact that the way the league is now. You know, when I watched the basketball in the 90s, you know, it was with the hand check era. You know, you can actually hand check somebody. And this wasn't hand checking, but they had this rule like no blood, no foul. And so, you know, the fact that it was blood, it was a foul. So I was like, okay. The comical part was the young man that got elbowed in the face, I think his name was Stewart. Whenever someone does something to you, if you're going to retaliate or fight someone, you do it right then. You don't wait until several people are between you and then you try to bum rush. We all know that's what we call playing chicken. So I don't care how tough of a guy they say he is or he felt disrespected. If you were going to do something, you would have done it right then. I'm going to use an example. Kobe Bryant, which I am a diehard fan from the time he was on, you know, those 2 or 3 episodes of Moesha, all the way until he passed. I've been a fan of Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant had an altercation with another player named Chris Childs. And I don't know, I can't remember what happened, but I know Kobe was nose to nose with Chris Childs. And all I know is he hit Kobe with a 2-piece so quick, you know, nobody had the time to react. I mean, they had to slow it down. The first punch landed in the neck. The next was in the chin/jaw area. You know, I was mortified. You know, this is my hero, and he got a 2-piece that quick. And the thing is, he hit him so quick, nobody even got a chance to really break it up. That is what we call immediate retaliation. You don't wait till you bleed and have 20 people in between you, and then you want to rush the crowd. No. You wanted to hit LeBron, you should have did it then. And 2, I don't think LeBron is an MMA fighter. I don't even think he really fights like that, if he had to. But he's also 6'8", 265, so tread carefully. Like I said, Stewart was a small, but, you know, just make sure, you know, you pick a battle you can win. Because you also had Russell Westbrook out there who had no problem getting a suspension. I don't think Carmelo Anthony has much fight in him left, which most guys in the NBA do not. So, staying inside the NBA, one team that is doing well. Well, I'll tell you what, let's start off with the team that's doing bad, which is my Lakers. But the worst part is when the suspension happened, we lost the very next game. But, you know, it gave LeBron fresh legs and he come back with a 40-piece. So this is the thing. We can't afford as Lakers to lose any more games like that, especially against the Pacers. Pacers, I mean, they're not a trash team, but we can beat them. In football, the formula I tell people they should follow is you beat everybody you're supposed to, and you split the ones that are going to be tough. You can make it to the playoffs in the NBA as well as the NFL with that. That is a formula. Sometimes, you know, you might win 51 games and still not make it, but, you know, those are those rare years. However, a team that is knocking it out of the park is the Golden State Warriors. They're looking like the old Golden State. When I tell you, Steph Curry wakes up every morning this season looking dangerous, everybody says, oh, he's getting older, he's not the same player. He still can shoot it with the best of them. And the fact that Klay Thompson is not even in the lineup, so you got Draymond Green, which is a non-shooter. You got Poole, and a lot of those guys are pretty much at one time in their career, especially starting out early, they was, you know, one step from the D League. So these guys are developing players, which they're pretty good players now, but they're not stars. And he's taking these guys, and they're on a 15-2 run, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Once you get Klay Thompson back in the mix, and those guys have confidence, like we can score on anybody, and they're playing good defense. So watch out for Golden State. I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, they're going to win the title again. We're not there yet. But I do need my Lakers to step it up. There are some good teams out there playing, and I'm keeping my eyeballs on them. Moving on to football. Starting off, let's go off with some college. Like we had some good games during Thanksgiving. I enjoyed most of them. Like I said, Texas, they found a way to show up finally. They were 4-7 out of 5-7. That's not a Texas team that I'm normally used to seeing. I mean, normally they at least win 7 games. But like I said, the best one so far was NC State versus UNC. NC State jumped out on them 14-0, and they blocked 2 punts in the first half. First of all, most people don't block 2 punts in a season. More or less, they blocked 2 in the first half. And I'm looking like NC State may run away with this one. And then at one time, it looks like UNC couldn't be stopped. I'm just like, good Lord. I felt like there were injuries, and too, like NC State had injuries, but I feel like some of that stuff was starting to show up as the game went along, because they had a couple injuries in the game, but they're playing with a lot of backups out there. Those guys are playing their heart out, but when you don't have your go-to players out there, when it gets a little murky out there, game can get a little tough. So I made the ultimate and called them a mistake. Hey, I'm a sports fan, and I know that you shouldn't do this, but most of the time, it just doesn't happen. UNC kicks a field goal, and they're up by 9. I'm like, yeah, this game's over. And I was already tired, so I turned the game off. Wake up this morning, I have to rewatch the last 5 minutes, because immediately when I turn the game off, NC State wakes up, and somebody puts the batteries in their back, and they scored 2 touchdowns in 26 seconds. I'm looking like, where was this at the whole game? I mean, they threw 2 bombs down, boom, boom, and they're up 34, and they're up by 4 now. I think they won 34-30. They still left almost a minute left on the clock for UNC to come back. That's one of those classics. It's already like a blood rivalry. Like, they don't like each other. So I was just like, picked a bad time to get tired and go to sleep. I should have just sat up, walked around, because I had it on my phone. But today, which is Saturday, got some big implications on the NCAA football world. Starting out, we got Penn State and Michigan State. That's going to determine like who gets the higher seed in the Big Ten. I don't know if either one of those going to the Big Ten. Well, I know Penn State's not, but I don't know. I got to remember which side Michigan State is on. However, one of the biggest games today is Ohio State versus Michigan. That will determine who will be seeded in the playoffs. Ohio State already has a bid, but if they lose, I feel like they're going to fall out of the top 4. And does Michigan have enough to jump over someone like Cincinnati to get in the top 4? Since John Harbaugh, it's one of the Harbaugh brothers. I can't think of his first name right now. Since Harbaugh has been there, they have not beat Ohio State from my memory. And the fact that this guy continues to get contracts, but you can't beat your biggest rivalry. Hey, can't count that man money. He's still building a program, but most people get fired before now. So the fact that he has not beat them, this could be the best time to beat them. However, if Ohio State beats a top-ranked Michigan, there is no doubt in my mind that they are guaranteed a seat in the playoffs. But they still have to win that, I think, the Big Ten championship. Next on the list is Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Neither one of them, to me, in my personal opinion, will make the playoffs. But that would, we do have bowl games that people watch, like the Rose Bowl. So I feel like they have a good chance of actually being in one of those top bowls, which most people watch, especially around, right after Christmas, the big bowl start, right around like New Year's, stuff like that. That's around most time when people still really watch bowl games, unless like you're a true fan of a specific team. So though it will also determine who will be the biggest and the baddest in the Big 12. Pittsburgh needs a win today to get their bid in the ACC championship today. So if Pittsburgh wins, I think they still may need some help, but we're gonna see. Wake Forest, they've dropped 2 in the last 3 weeks. I feel like it's almost over for them. I can't believe they dropped it this late, especially against UNC. And then they dropped it and they got blown out against Clemson. I just felt like they're falling off the wagon. Still a good team, still a dangerous team, but you can't give up 48 points like they did last week. Moving on to the NFL. Hottest topic right now in the NFL. Cowboys, are they still those boys? As an Eagle fan, I watch the Cowboys a lot because, I always got to see, hey, how are they ranking against my Eagles? And most years they start off hot. I mean, they'll start off 6-1, 6-2, and right around that bye week to get full of themselves, and then they start falling off the wagon. I feel like this year is no different. I always tell people around week 8, week 9, most time the Cowboys either they run out of steam or they start picking up steam and try to make a late push for the division. Like I said, they're still good enough on paper to beat anybody, but it's just paper. So if you look at them pound for pound, even with Lawrence out of the lineup, they still supposed to have an elite pass rush. Those guys can get after the quarterback. That rookie, he is just killing people. I saw him rip a tackle the other night, and I'm just like, they need to find more ways to get him after. Like, if you have to move him from one side to the other, there's no reason why this kid can't have 20 sacks this year. If he's dominating the right tackle or the left tackle and the rest of the guys are just doing okay, I'm moving him around, I'm stunting, I'm getting him after the quarterback. Now, I don't know how he really fares against the run. I'm pretty sure it's pretty good because he runs 4-3 at outside linebacker. But when it comes to third down, I'm getting him. Every call is going to be for him to try to get free. That secondary is supposed to be decent. You have a soon to be all pro out there, but somehow you let the Raiders, Derek Carr now, which is everybody say he's a middle of the road quarterback. You let him put up 500 total yards against you without his head coach calling the plays. It's unacceptable, Cowboys. It's unacceptable. Like I said, that secondary is supposed to be pretty decent. But, I don't know. Are they them boys? No, they're not, in my opinion. This had nothing to do with me being an Eagle fan. They're not who we thought they were. No, they're not. We better shape up. Other teams that need to shape up. My Philadelphia Eagles. We cannot afford to drop any more games. However, with that Saints game, oh, yes, we did win, but we also gave up 2 easy touchdowns and made this game a lot closer than it should be. Why I was upset? Because the Saints are decimated. They are not the team that they should be. And the fact that we gave that up to Trevor Siemian, which should have, almost was out of the league, and we give up 2 bombs in to see him, I'm looking like, y'all got to be kidding me. So we can't do that against decent teams or we will not make the playoffs either. As for the Panthers, I need you to make me right. I said you will not be a high-ranking member going into the playoffs, but I still had you going to the playoffs. I know y'all dropped that one against the Redskins. However, the Redskins are better than people think. Yes, they are. They just smacked Tom Brady the other week, and now they beat the Panthers, which has a relatively decent defense. So I'm not really putting an asterisk against you on that one. The Redskins are better than people think. The last team, the Titans. Are you kidding me? You are on my list for you got to shape up or you will be shipped out. You cannot lose to the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, however, are just as bad as the Detroit Lions at times. There's no way you should lose to them. I don't care if Derrick Henry is out or not. You have enough firepower and enough defense to beat the Houston Texans, which, I know the quarterback threw 4 interceptions that week, but you got to figure it out. You definitely do. For the Detroit Lions, don't worry. It's almost over. 0-10-1. It's not good. I know who's getting the number 1 pick this year. This is, it's still time for teams to, to make that late push. I know, some teams can. I feel like my Eagles, we have, and we're coming along with at the right time. I feel we can make that late push, and I'll actually beat out the Cowboys for the conference. But special shout out. I got some merchandise from my first sponsor, Educated and Melanated. This one actually says respect the game. I have some other stuff which you will be seeing on the episodes. I will have the link in the bio at the bottom of this video. Be sure to check them out. They have some good stuff. They have some stuff for men, women, and they have some unisex hoodies. So if you are smaller frame, that she can, so it's actually a young lady. She can actually make all this fit you. As for time, this is mine. I am Ricky G. Stanley. I'm your host, and I am out of here. Have a good day.
Turn me up in the headphone. Soundstripe.
Yeah. Grind to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and dominoes. Anything is possible. Yeah. Grind to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible.